I'm planning to shoot some content today for Marty McCurdy, so get ready with me while I answer some of your questions. Crazy Queen 1995 says, what is your passion before and after coming onto this platform? And if I could make a wish, what would I wish for? I'm very passionate about providing a space for people to be themselves or feel good about themselves and spreading the message that I would have wanted to say to my younger self. And if I could help just one girl reduce her anxiety about her appearance, then I will have achieved my goal as a content creator. So yeah, you could say that I'm passionate about making people feel good in their own skin. And of course, my ultimate wish would be to become a full-time content creator, since it's so fun to make videos and there's a lot of perks that come with it, but there's also a lot of responsibility to having a big platform. I'm sure it's a double-edged sword, but we can cross that hill when we come to it. And from the queen of being cute and sexy, Ellie asks, have you always been creative? I actually don't really think of myself as a creative person. Even when I used to draw and stuff, I mostly always just did fan art. My makeup looks, a lot of the times I'm referencing other creators or other makeup looks that I've seen online. And to me, being creative means coming up with stuff on your own, and I don't really do that so much. So I really don't think of myself as creative. From Kixis222, what influences your aesthetic and makeup style, and how did you find your aesthetic makeup style? I've been a Tumblr user since middle school, so back then, or at least the communities that I saw and participated in was mostly grungy style, but I also was able to find the K-fashion community, the Olzang bloggers and stuff, and I think that's pretty much what started my love for East Asian aesthetics. Because my facial features are so soft, I always felt like that edgier style or heavier styles didn't suit me, so I naturally gravitated towards that Korean style since it was softer and it aligned better with my facial harmony. But to be honest, I didn't really wear makeup at all until I went to college, so even though I was consuming that content, I didn't apply it in my life. I also grew up in the South, so that style wasn't something that was common there, and as a kid, I think most kids are this way. You don't want to stick out, all you want to do is fit in. So I didn't dress or style myself in the way that maybe I liked, because I just would rather blend in. Zarij05 asks, what's my favorite makeup brand? This question is so tough because I have favorite brands across different product categories. For example, with eyeshadows, I really love using Clio. I think that the level of pigment is perfect for my needs. I don't actually like palettes that are too pigmented, since I prefer lighter makeup or less saturated makeup, or just something that's buildable so that you can control it better. With lip products, I am extremely partial to Romand. The amount of Romand lip tints and lip glosses that I own is bordering on hoarder levels. But I feel like with lip products, there's so much room for you to play with the colors that it's okay to have a lot of them. You know, I need my options. And my favorite luxury beauty brand is Dior by far. The packaging is just way too cute. I'm a Dior girly in general, so of course I use their beauty products as well. Elvia BCD asks if I have contact recommendations and if they're prescribed or just regular color contacts. I'm nearsighted, so I guess all of my contacts are technically prescription. On the daily, I just use normal contacts, no color or anything. When I know I want to do my makeup, or I know I'm going out or filming or something, then I will pop in some colored contacts. 99% of the time I'm wearing Hava Kristen lenses. I only recently started branching out into other brands just because Papa Kristen tends to be pretty natural leaning. I feel like you can't go wrong with them, and they have a lot of options that are really good for daily wear if that's what you're looking for. And today I'm actually wearing the Quiet Kristens in Glow Brown. Sahaj asks, did high school you envision where you would be now, doing the things that I'm doing? Definitely not. I'd say I was really shy in high school, and I was still figuring out who I was and who I wanted to be. At that point in my life, I was just going one day at a time, and my literal only goal was to get into a good college. But looking back on that, that was a really good goal and probably the best course of action for my life. And all I can say is that I'm sure that my younger self would be proud of the person that I am now. And life just has a nice way of working out. Dory is asking what helps keep me so confident. I honestly don't really know where my current confidence comes from, or at least not how it started, because I was super timid as a kid. What I've kind of realized as I've gotten older is that no one is really looking at you. Like, you can do what makes you happy, and if someone does judge you, it'll be for 1 second of their day and then they're gonna forget about you. I feel like creating content has been a form of exposure therapy. And I basically decided for myself that it wasn't worth it to live my life being scared of everything, and that I had to make the most of this life and my youth. So yeah, I guess I just stopped being afraid. And that's what makes me confident. Jackie asks, out of the cities I've lived in, which one is my favorite? I would say probably LA is my favorite. So I think a lot of my love for LA can be attributed just to the fact that I was in college, I was in a bubble. Being in an environment filled with like-minded people is always super inspiring, which is why I think college is truly one of the best times of your life. You'll never be in that kind of bubble again where everyone around you is so similar to you, and I seriously had so much fun in LA. Pate asks, if my house set on fire, which 3 outfits am I saving? That is actually a super tough question. I even thought about my answer to this in advance, and I haven't really come up with anything. But I am a huge lover and collector of dresses, so I would for sure have to save 3 dresses. The first one that I would grab is this Zimmermann dress. It was the very first present that Ethan bought for me, so it's super sentimental for me, and it's also just a gorgeous dress. Lana Del Rey wore it once when she was performing, so yeah, that's a keeper. Second dress, I guess I'd save another Zimmermann that I haven't worn yet. I mean, it would just be such a waste for it to go down in flames before I've even had a chance to wear it. And third dress, I'd probably have to save one of my Mirror Palais dresses. If you are a Princess girl, you know that Mirror Palais dresses are like the ultimate dream. They are so perfect and girly and princessy, and I don't know if I could let them burn down. I'll just burn with them. And finally, we have a question from Pinkest Bunny asking, what work have I had done? I feel like this one needs to be a full video of its own, but to put it succinctly, I've had Botox, I've had skin treatments, and then in terms of real surgery, I did my double eyelids and I did my facial contour. This is just a standard that I set for myself, but I have always told myself that if I wanted to get anything cosmetic done, then I would have to be open and willing to share it with people, because I think that if I were ashamed of sharing that information, then I wouldn't have been in the right mental space to get that work done in the first place. But I say that that's a standard that I set only for me because it's obviously medical information, and if someone else doesn't want to share that information with you, no judgment there, that's totally their right. But that is a requirement that I set for myself because I do not want to be the reason that someone else feels insecure about themselves. I talk a lot about glow ups, so I want to be realistic with you guys about what you can achieve non-surgically and the limitations to that, so that you don't end up comparing yourself to something that is quite literally unachievable for you. There's a lot of nuance there, so I would very much like to make a full-length video discussing this at length if you guys are interested in hearing about it. But yeah, that's what I've had done. Thank you for being here and celebrating my 3-month anniversary on YouTube with me. I feel like having a scheduled posting date and just being consistent with my content has been a really fun challenge for me. And it's also a way for me to try and improve my public speaking skills. So thank you for listening to my yapping. I'm gonna go get coffee and cinnamon rolls and shoot some content. I'm so glad you're here, and I'll see you next Tuesday.